一口いかがですか？交換し合えばコンプリートに近づくじゃないですか。美味しいですよ。
Hello and welcome to another video on the VikingGnomeAnime channel. Today we are going to be answering the question of whether I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too is worth watching or perhaps not worth watching. Now, before we answer this question, I will of course have to get some watch time out of you. I'm just kidding. But before we get to that point, I will be talking a bit generally on the show, and we will discuss and we will come to a conclusion. Now, this is another, well, it's not an Isekai per se, but it is a Isekai-esque show. The main character is not killed, he is not sent to another world, but he is able to traverse into another Isekai-ish fantasy world because of a gate in his living room or hidden room in his house that his grandfather left behind. He's able to traverse freely between these worlds, which is a concept that has been shown in, I think, one Isekai-esque anime every anime season past 3 seasons, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So I do think that concept is great. Instead of being sent just to this other world, you actually can traverse between worlds, so you can have a lot of cool interactions and storylines based off that concept. So just on that point, I'm happy. Good. I like it. A bit fresh, a bit new, not the bog standard, same old stuff. Now, I will talk about the main character soon, but as I think he is the most interesting thing in the show, I'll first go through the plot quickly. So, he finds this door to another world, which he finds at basically his lowest point. He has been overweight, he has a ton of issues with self-esteem, with confidence, with self-image, with self-doubt. A lot of these negative traits, basically. And he finds this door to another world through the first episode that his grandfather left behind. Because he also left behind his house to this boy. And from that point on, he basically starts building himself back up, improving himself both physically and mentally as we go through. That's probably going to be one of the prevailing focuses of this show, is how he as a character develops, how he becomes better, stronger, both physically and mentally, but specifically mentally, and how he as a character and his personality improves, and how he as a human can improve, become a better version of himself. The second episode I was actually quite surprised with, because they focused, even though they introduced the Isekai world like halfway into the first episode, they spent the entire second episode, more or less, on his real world or modern day Japan world life. And changing schools, and just dealing with personal issues on like a very mundane, everyday level. I was really not expecting that at all. I was expecting a lot of exploration in the Isekai world, but they're taking it like really slow and methodical, and not just giving us everything at once. We do get a snippet of a peek into the Isekai world at the very end of the second episode, and I assume we will be getting a lot more on that moving forward. Now, I haven't spent too long talking about plot. I'm not going to be spending too much time talking about plot, because the plot is, I would say, not the most relevant to this show. What would really draw someone into this show and really make them enjoy it, I would say, is the characters. Specifically, our main character. He has a lot of good, strong character foundations, which we see in the first episode. Standing up for justice, and doing what's right, even though it may be difficult. But that is also saddled down by his many negative qualities of self-doubt, lack of self-confidence, etc., as I mentioned prior. But as a character, he's very intriguing, and he's very, very relatable, right? Many of you can relate to having issues, maybe it be body issues, or confidence issues, or any other wide array of issues modern people, especially young people, tend to deal with in today's day and age. But how they are portraying it and how they are sort of setting him on an arc of becoming better is really quite interesting to me. And it's been done pretty well so far. Nothing has been too out of place, and I'm quite enjoying the arc they have put him on till this point. Even though this is a, well, let's say Isekai-esque show, I would say that even if you don't like Isekai or sort of power fantasy shows, I think this might still be a very recommended watch for you because of the actual more in-depth plot, because of the actual focus on character development, character interactions, and just a wide array of different qualities that this show possesses and shows to you as the audience. I think will draw in a lot of different people. If you like romance, hey, we do get some romance in the second episode. Some slice of life, we do get some of that in the second episode. If you like Isekai or power fantasy, we do also get some of that at the end of the second episode. And many other genres are also sort of put in to this show so far. It's like a jack of all trades, to an extent. So far, anyway. They might, of course, go more heavy on the Isekai-esque front later on, but for now, it has a lot of good qualities in a lot of different directions. So, basically, no matter what you like, well, almost no matter what you like, I would say this show is definitely something you should try to watch. If you watch the first 2 episodes, I think that the vast majority of you will think, yeah, you know what? This is a show that I think I can watch more. This is something that I actually quite enjoy and can really get into. For me, so far, this show is definitely displaying like an 8 out of 10 rating. And for me, that is not something I give easily. To get an 8 or above from me, you have to actually really have a solid base to build from. And this show might have that. We'll have to see. But yes, so definitely, I recommend you watch it. Full stop. Now, I will quickly talk about a few points that happened in these 2 first episodes that I really, really quite liked. That were personal highlights for me. In the first episode, I really love that they show off his strong character foundations that came from him basically growing up with and learning from his wise old grandfather. I would say it really showed off the importance of having strong male father figures that teach their sons or their grandsons how to be a man, right? How to act, how to be a proper, good human being, and instilling really strong, just values onto them that they carry on through the rest of their lives, even after they themselves may be gone. So that was something I really did quite like. Of course, I mean, to an extent, I get a bit put off by all his self-doubt and lack of self-confidence, because to me that's kind of a turn-off in personalities on a personal front for me. But, of course, it's good to have a bit of a drawback, so it doesn't just have good qualities, right? Because then it wouldn't really be much of a story if you had no challenges to overcome. So that's fine, it's fine. I do also quite like the video game-esque menus and info they gave in the first episode specifically. Wasn't much in the second episode, because it wasn't focused on the Isekai world, but in the first episode there was a lot of these video game details that I really love. The menus, the stats, and all these things. To me, that's really, really, really nice. I love those snippets of things. So that was another thing I really did quite enjoy. I do also like how the system is working between these 2 worlds, so you can convert assets automatically and all these video game-esque things on top of all the stat sticks you see. In the second episode, I really did enjoy watching him, even just him changing schools, and how that entire mini arc, let's say, progressed through the second episode. Like, just how they put together the scenes, and how they filled in multiple areas of slice of life, of romance, of humor, of slowly building this character out, fleshing him out more and more, and also introducing his first potential love interest, and a few other auxiliary characters. specifically the eating out scene late in the second episode with his new potential waifu was really well done. Like, I loved the attention to detail. I loved how they just produced the scene and how they made it feel really engaging. And I mean, it just made me smile, basically. It made me smile, made me giggle a bit, you know, maybe just get some, you know, secondhand embarrassment. But it was, yeah, really well done. Really well done. I also really, really loved the very close to end scene of the episode when he comes to the new world through his door. And up until this point, he had not gone outside the confines of his house, which has been protected by a barrier, so no monsters or anything could get in. But he had stayed inside that barrier and not gone outside his own fenced gate, because he was, you know, probably afraid, you know, having self-doubt and stuff like that. But they then did a flashback in contrast with him having self-doubt about walking through his walking to his new classroom and through the door into his new class that he was going into prior in the episode when he was trialing a school change. And they really contrasted that so nicely with him being like, yeah, you know what, I was courageous enough, I had enough strength, so to speak, to just go over the horizon and do something new. You know, be adventurous, be brave, so to speak, and open that classroom door and see what it had in store for me. And then he did the same, of course, with opening the gate to his fenced garden in the other world. So that was a really nice scene, I thought. There's something I really highlighted. The quality that this show can continue to show as it moves forward. As another end note, I think the animation looks really clean. I really like the animation style. It's looking crisp, fresh, and I'm quite enjoying it. It's looking good. I will not drag this video on though for longer. It's been long enough already. But safe to say, this is a good show. I like it. I like it a lot. So please do give it a shot, ladies and gentlemen. I think you will definitely enjoy it. That though will be all from me. And I think you got your question answered with yes, this is going to be worth your time for basically all of you. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell button to be notified of new content, and just to support my new channel, as I am just in the growing part of it, slowly growing and becoming, maybe one day, a big YouTuber. Ooh. But we'll see. But, you know, please do, if you want to support my content. Also comment your thoughts on the show itself if you already started watching it, or if you have any questions or thoughts or anything, you can comment that below, and I respond and read every single comment, so don't you worry, I will get to you. With all that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.